Hello. How you guys are doing? How are you all doing? How have you been? It's been a little bit of a while since I have been active. Yeah. I just wanted to do a little update. I don't really know. I just felt like turning on the camera because if I don't turn it on, then I feel like I don't know. I'm just gonna keep overthinking things, and I feel like I've been overthinking a lot of things. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I know. Here's the thing. I know the astrology, right? I know the astrology, what's happening collectively. I know the astrology of what's happening personally for me. But even if you have a knowing of what you're going of like this is gonna be like this, it's still not comfortable. It's still it doesn't take the feelings away from you actually still experiencing it. So, so yeah, I have definitely been in this like reflective stage of what feels like I don't like I guess a pause, and I don't really like pauses. Because I'm grateful for them. I know that they're appreciate like they're necessary. But yeah, I guess it just makes me feel it's hard to surrender to pausing, to reflecting, to maybe slowing down when you are in a uncertain, or maybe not uncertain because I'm certain, but when I'm in an uncomfortable space, um like uh career wise, financially wise, when things are not 100%, like when things are not where I want them to be. And um I just am looking forward to the day that I don't have to worry or I'm not that I have to worry, because I trust God, and God always provides, and God always makes a way, and like I try not to worry because I believe in God, and I always say, or even if you have faith, if you're a spiritual being and you have faith in whatever you have faith in, your definition of a higher power, why worry? So it's not that I worry, but I guess when it's like being okay with not doing so much, or taking a pause. Like I was supposed to be posting every day, and it just didn't. I tried, but then stuff happens in life, and it's like I guess subconsciously I surrendered to like keeping up with it. And I don't think, and normally if this would have happened, I would have just felt like a failure. I would have just felt like a failure. And but this time I'm just like, what if this is a part of the journey? What if this is a part of me, my journey, and like this is perfectly aligned with the current energy. I know personally for me, when I have the area that's being highlighted, like for me to focus on, for me to prioritize, is my fourth house, which represents my home, my family, my inner home. You know, my soul, my um yeah, like caring for my body, my internal, um And I've definitely felt like that. Like, you know, your fourth house is your least, it's like your most private, besides the 12th house, it's your most private place. So when you have a lot of activity in there, you are definitely like opposite from wanting to be out, put yourself out there, be out in the public. A lot of where your themes of focus may be at that time is like around home, around family, around creating your foundations. You know, foundation is another word. Um, and tending to your body and your internal home and your space. And, you know, because for me, it's in the sign of Gemini. Gemini rules my fourth house. I mean, and once again, Gemini is like this social, like Gemini represents like, once again, being curious and letting your curiosity lead you to learning, talking, socializing, communicating through different avenues, or learning through different avenues when it comes to like books, or having like talking to people more, socializing, having conversations. I'm saying the same thing. Socializing, conversing, um whether that's on the phone or that's online or that's, you know, you're taking a class, or maybe you just been consuming a lot of podcasts, or like again a lot of books, maybe mental chatter, you know, maybe you're like going back and forth within yourself in your mind of like what are you doing. Maybe more chatter even when it comes to like, you know, I think of it like fourth house. It's like maybe even me having conversations with my inner self, my inner guidance, and sitting with like what feels right for me, what's going on in here, you know. So it's almost like how do I do that and also know that this is not a time for me to try to like to put pressure on myself to um be more than just a person that's in the stage of introspection, reflecting, learning, but also with the yearning to talk. So, like I've probably said in some of my videos, or I've like filmed a couple. Here's the thing. The good thing is I'm pretty sure I've filmed every day. I'm pretty sure, unless there was maybe one day, but I have filmed something every day, or for most days that I haven't posted, which has been at this point 3 days. So I'm pretty sure I filmed the video, but I haven't posted it, which is like interesting because it's like me like talking and sharing my thoughts and sharing my feelings, but not putting it out there, which is very fourth housey. It's like keeping it to myself and not putting it out in the public, which is like the public is my 10th house, and just everything else like 11th, you know. So
Okay, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me, and I'm so sad because I really wanted to post a video about Saturn entering into Aries. But this girl is an Aries moon at 0 degrees, so that means Saturn is, very aligned with my moon energy, and so I've just been taking care of responsibilities, aka like nurturing myself. I had to cook, and I had some unfortunate, I mean, like, not unfortunate, but like, I have a Saturn and Aries story that I would like to share, but I'm just too exhausted to do it. So I'll have to tell you tomorrow. But I'm just showing up because this is the reality sometimes. I just can't, I'm not going to be able to. I mean, this is a good representation of everything, and I'm just so exhausted, but also because I didn't sleep that well yesterday. Yesterday was just a busy day, but I'm wiped. I am wiped. And also, I literally said And this always happens. This happened last year, and last year I wasn't posting as much. I remember like I had went ghost a little bit during Gemini season because I don't know, family stuff was coming up, or I had to take care of the home, or I just didn't have any energy. I don't know, but yeah, I can't do that this year because I still have to post every day. But I'm like, oh. So, anyways, we'll talk more about this Saturn and Aries energy. But I just wanted to show up, and now I'm about to go to sleep. Hopefully, I can post this before the day is over. Okay. Hope you had an okay day today. And yeah, this is me with Saturn. Saturn conjunct my moon, which also maybe, and then with the Neptune, yeah, definitely probably contributes to me feeling tired, low energy. Oh gosh. But still having to take care of my responsibilities. Okay, bye.
So yeah, there's still a deeper connection to my fourth house, meaning that it's still important for me to like have talks and communication, putting myself out there and having like staying in contact, staying in communication, being open to like learning and hearing different points of views, and maybe like using my voice is still an importance. Socializing, connecting with people is still of an importance right now for me, because here's a deeper meaning of astrology. I mean, this is like advanced astrology, but because my Gemini rules my fourth house, we have to another advanced version of astrology is looking at the planet ruler of um of Gemini, which is Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, but Mercury rules Gemini. So then I think about, okay, where's Mercury in my chart? Because those two are going to connect. So yeah, astrology can be like so in depth because you can always dive deeper. So once again, okay, the planet ruler for my fourth house is all about communication, which I can go into whole deeper themes, because your fourth house also tells you how your home life has been, how it was in your childhood, and how you probably also need it to be. And for me, yeah, I grew up around like a big family, and there was always people like chatter has been like a huge theme. It's rare that I think of my childhood and it was just like silent. There was always people in the house. I had multiple siblings. I lived with a lot like different people throughout my childhood, like family, and it's always been a lot going on. um so um so yeah, I'm gonna tell you more, a little bit more about certain things later, but this at the end of this week. But so yeah, I've just had to. So even if like right now I'm older now, so I just live with me and my boyfriend. I don't have like a big family. So, but it's almost like, even though I may be out, the chatter, even though it's not as much out externally, it's still internal. But anyway, so I think of, okay, so then if whatever your planet ruler for your fourth house, or for Gemini is, I mean, so Mercury rules Gemini. So I'd look at where Mercury is in my chart, and those are like an extension of what I'm going to be focused on during this fourth house. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So, if I think of it, my natal Mercury is located in my 11th house, which is about friends, groups, and community. Maybe social media. So there's a yearning for, or there's a connection between, like, although yes, I am in this like introspection time, um, maybe hermit mode time, or maybe like really reflecting and taking time away. It's almost like I'm meant to still have conversations with people while I'm in my house, And that could be just like, once again, having more phone calls, which I have, talking to family more, talking to friends more. But it could be like I'm doing something that that uh I'm doing something that includes me using my voice and having conversations with people from all different walks of life. Okay, just having like bouncing different perspectives around and keeping it like more social rather than like super like what the opposite of it is. Like, my opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is all about more of the teacher. It's there to teach people, and to it's more of like preachy, like this is the truth of this, and this is, it's more like, it's, yeah. And it's more even about spirituality and astrology. It wants to like help guide people and like be more of the teacher aspect. And for me, it's like less, putting less weight on like me having to like teach, and maybe me like deciding to be more social with the conversations that I have. Like, what's your opinion about astrology? What's going on in your life? Like, these type of things. And So it's like switching roles. And in order for me to do that, I have to, instead of being the only one on camera talking, for me it feels like I have to have more conversations where I bring people on. Or I was even thinking about doing this thing, which funny enough, I started last year when I was away. This is one of my things that I did from like my journey of figuring out myself on my other channel. I did something called spiritual combos, which is very similar to what I tried to recreate on my current Just Creations, which is when I did deep convos. I think I did deep convos. I did the intimate talks. Um, I did astrology readings, but filming it. I mean, having a yearning, a calling, a desire to do that again. Now, I'm thinking this time around, I want to do my spiritual convos with on through just live, just getting on live more. Hopefully that works. Getting on live more and just having conversations with people on live, and then recording that and reposting that. So now you guys are just watching me have conversations with people or answering questions with people from people. And like I said, I even was thinking about, because also I have this Saturn and Aries entering, transiting through my second house. So I'm getting, um it's causing me to take myself seriously when it comes to like putting myself out there, when it comes to like charging for my services, charging for like my what I do. So I was like, okay, I'm not 100% comfortable, but the only way to get comfortable with doing that is to do it, right? So if I go on live, if I have a set days where I go on live, and I just kind of start off with like just casual talk, maybe I bring someone on the live, or I'm just answering questions. And then I do a random, like, I give somebody a random reading, and like maybe card pull, whatever. And then after that, I talk about the current astrology. This is not going to be in this exact order, but I'm just bouncing out. I talk about the current astrology. I maybe like, randomly choose one person to like give an example to of how the current astrology is impacting their life, give them a little mini reading. And then if anybody wants like an actual reading instead, I'll give them like, this will be their chance to get like a version of a reading from me, because my readings are usually $111, my full hour long readings. But I'm gonna do $11 readings. I was like, okay, let me do $11 readings, and that will give me a chance to, they could pay for it while I'm on the live. And which I have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. But yeah, they can pay for it while I'm on the live, and then I can give them the insight on the live, or I can email them um yeah, I can email them their reading, what came up for me for them. So yeah. So I'm like, all right, that's something that I've been feeling like I want to do. And I said that, I was thinking about this a couple of days ago because something else happened in my life. And I guess this is just this is a dump period for me right now. Saturn is has entered into Aries, so it's been about 24 hours now, if not a little bit over, since Saturn entered into Aries. And most likely we are feeling, usually when a planet enters a new sign or transits into a new sign, we usually at that point have a there's a start of feeling the energy of that Saturn and Aries is going to be bringing in our lives. We may feel it subtly, we may feel it heightened, especially if, like, for me, I have my Aries moon is at 0 degrees, and Saturn and Aries is literally it's either at 0 degrees or at 1 degree, so it's literally conjunct my moon. So I definitely feel this energy strongly, which makes me think, because I know Saturn can also make like on a physical level, like the energy that it can give off is like, once again, like slowing things down, but it could also feel like it can make you feel like tired too, which maybe has to do with the slow things. And I'm wondering, and I'm wanting to give more guidance on that. I haven't like looked it up or anything, but I'm trying to see, but I'm like seeing how it affects my like feelings. And it also can make you, once again, it's about like making things serious, structuring. And I definitely have felt emotionally like having to take my feelings around what I want, my desire, my like, yeah, what I want, what I'm passionate in, what I want, what I know that I need to do is to take my finances seriously. Like I said, how I manage them, but also like taking it seriously on like how I want to like earn or like make my money. But I just feel like a seriousness of that. And also like having to force myself, or being forced to be patient, um and maybe like having a moment of discomfort. For example, like my first Saturn and Aries theme happened literally like the day before Saturn went into Aries, which can happen because, once again, whenever a sign is about like right about to enter into another sign, it has a shadow period, which you can usually feel it because it's getting closer. If it's getting closer, like Saturn was in Aries, but it's super. I mean, in Pisces, but it's so close to Aries. You will feel the a couple days before, or a day before, a couple days before, the energy of Saturn in Aries. So I would honestly ask you to think about like how, where in your life have you maybe been feeling the Saturn and Aries energy, um and think about like what have you been feeling or experiencing in the past couple of days. um and so for me, interesting enough, I had a really good Saturn and Aries like preview story. So if you've been following my journey, you know that I sometimes I work at a metaphysical store as a social media marketer, but I also I do a lot of my work there, my in person work. I host women's circles. I give astrology readings. I just officially became like an official practitioner there, meaning like I have a designated day every Thursday where I'm available for readings. Um, but before that, I was working, that the metaphysical shop that I work at is usually, they every the last weekend of every month they host this thing called the Body Mind Soul Fair, aka the Psychic Fair, where they have a bunch of practitioners who offer different things. And we have astrologers, we have palm readers, we have tarot card readers, we have um aura photography, we have why am I forgetting the name? Akashic records. We just have like numerology. We have just a bunch of just different people. Um Astrology, did I say that already? Yes. And so then you can get 20-minute sessions. You know, you can get like two 20-minute sessions with two people. I mean, you can get two 20-minute sessions with whatever practitioner of your choice, and you pay $55, which is like a really good rate, you know, because most of those sessions usually are like $80 plus for one session or whatever. So like when I first started working there and transitioned into more of the practitioner role, the owner like let me. She was like, you know, like you should read it. You should start reading it and the doing the work in the fairs. And so I did it, but there's been like a resistance to, like, at first I liked it, even though it was a lot for me because I was used to giving long readings, but I had to learn how to turn my hour-long readings into 20-minute sessions, which and still be able to provide value, which was a journey. It definitely took like maybe me to be doing the for like after the third or fourth time of me doing the fairs, I kind of figured out my rhythm. But yeah, so it was definitely an experience for me because I, like, you know, you're sharing a lot of energy, giving out a lot of energy to multiple people with different energies in like a period of time. So it was just like a lot for me. It was so good in so many ways, but my body was like drained from it. And it was like, it got to the point that whenever around the time that the fair was gonna come, like I would start to get, my body would like, or my mind or whatever would have a resistance towards it. But then I'm like, come on, like why am I feeling this way every time I do it? Like I end up meeting a lot of people. I get more comfortable as a reader because now like I'm definitely like, once again, I'm so comfortable with literally put anybody in front of me and I give them a reading and know that I'm going to confidently give them something that they're going to take away with, that is definitely going to be like a click, like make something click or they feel validated or whatever. So I'm so grateful for that. But then it was like, and then also like obviously I get paid. That was an extra source of income for me, which was amazing because what I want to attract more, the feeling of, because I always say I want to help. Like, and last year, like I always talk about, like I helped a lot for free, which started off to be amazing because that's all I wanted to do was help. Um, but also it left me drained and in a deeper financial situation that I started in. So it's almost like all this good, but then at the end of the day, I don't feel good, which is a part of my Saturn and even Pisces energy of like giving too much and not feeling like you're receiving and like what you're worth or enough. You're pouring into pouring too much, even if it's for a good cause, but then it's not being replenished back. There's no give and take. Not that they're, you know, meaning like there's no flow of energy. And I'm learning that even when it comes to like your second house, there should be like a give and receive aspect of like whatever job or whatever, however you make money, you have to realize that whoever, when you clock into your job, you are giving your time, you're giving your skills, you're giving your expertise, and you're helping someone. Most likely, whether you work in customer service, whatever, you're helping. So that's an energy that you're putting out, and then you're getting paid for that. And so you're getting paid for the time that you put in to helping someone, however you're doing it. And you, but there's a like a give and take, so it feels fair, it feels complete, it feels like it makes, you know. And for whatever reason, I feel like, even, I mean, this is a normal, it's not just a me thing, but when anybody's doing like spiritual work, or it's like, or astrology, or, you know, let's just say spiritual work, there's a guilt of like charging for this because you know that you could do it for free and you want to do it for free, but you have to realize that you're not really charging for the advice you're giving, you're charging for the energy that you're putting out. the time that you're charging for the energy, but you're also charging for the time that you're putting into this person or whatever, and so I've had to like learn that so I could feel less guilty. But then it's like, but how do you not? But then you must don't value yourself because you are giving, once again, amazing advice that, could change somebody's life or perspective or something, or help them to gain clarity or whatever, or to trust themselves more, or then they can go and fulfill a desire or dream or whatever that they wanted, because now they feel like validated enough, they could see that they are meant to do that. So that's like very valuable. So you do deserve to get paid for your time, and having to understand that is what God has put me here to do. It's evident and internally, intuitively for me, and it's evident if you look at my astrology chart. So why the resistance? And that means that was where I have to go back to me and be like, do I have like self-worth issues? Why do I always feel like I have to give, and I feel uncomfortable with receiving or even asking for what I know I deserve? That sounds like a deeper, like that sounds like you need to look back on your childhood to see, like, was that a common, did you grow up, who was around you with that same belief, who, like, kind of obviously like looking at my parents, and like even my mom, and I know my mom was an overgiver. So I'm like, oh shoot, so this like runs deeper than just the surface level aspect of a person not being comfortable with charging for their services or putting themselves out there enough, and wanting to just give free stuff, but then knowing that internally they are like, it's causing them to be in a struggle period, or not, or like it's hurting them at the end, whether it's good or not, so anyways, so now let's talk about my Saturn story. So if you guys haven't seen the video, which I either put it out now or it's going to be coming out soon, where I said like Saturn in astrology is, wherever you have Saturn transiting through your chart, it's going to make you take whatever area in your life that Saturn is transiting through. It's going to force you to take it more seriously. And most likely, if you haven't been taking it seriously, okay? So if you haven't been taking it seriously enough, then Saturn is going to present perhaps uncomfortable situations in your life, or maybe take away things in your life to force you to take these things seriously, all right? Which may feel like a punishment initially, especially if you don't understand or you don't know why, or you don't even, this is why astrology is amazing, because then you can realize you're not being punished, you're being helped. But for most people who just go about things in life and like unfortunate, or they get, when life brings them challenges, they look at it as like, oh my gosh, like life hates me, or they start to like, whatever, when it's like, no, this is guiding you to help you. If you understood it, this is why astrology is amazing. But even just being in tune, when I say in tune, I mean like sitting with yourself, being connected to higher power, asking for guidance, all that stuff. But yeah, so for me, I'm gonna experience lessons around what I just told you guys, getting comfortable with like making money, which is so funny because this is my biggest theme here. But being resourced through what I give and provide, learning the give and take flow of like, I provide a service, being comfortable with being paid for that service. I provided, my time, being comfortable with getting paid for that. And being comfortable with even asking for, not asking, but like setting a rate for myself and being okay with that rate and not changing it because I'm like, oh my gosh, is it too much, or is it da-da-da, So I'm learning these things, right? So obviously you guys know that my goal is, I really would love to, like, yes, I have a job as a social media marketer, but like I only got that job so I could have steady income coming in until I get to a place in my business, Healthy Girl Healing, to sustain me financially, okay? Which I love my job because like for me, I wanted to work. I still wanted to be able to use my gifts and my talents, which is what I'm doing, to help another person like grow, to help a business grow. Like I love that because I'm still helping. So even though I still love it, but it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. Or maybe I do, but maybe it's not the main source of income. Because at the end of the day, I don't feel like I just want to drop it if I once I get to the point. But maybe I will lessen my hours, or maybe it'll be like I'm giving consultations. Because I definitely still I like the idea of giving, instead of being the social media marketer who does everything, because that takes a lot of time, energy, effort, and like, yeah, I know that I want to be my own boss and I want to grow my own business, and that already takes a lot. So I'm like, you know, um but anyways, the point is my ultimate goal is to be an entrepreneur, meaning like to grow my Healthy Girl Health Healing business, and to being able to afford me the life of my dreams, okay? Um to provide me financial freedom where I don't have to worry about anything or anything like that. Um so what do you think Saturn's going to do? Saturn's entering into the area of my life that literally has to do with that. So what do you think Saturn's going to do for me? The good thing is, I know by the end of the Saturn transit, I'm going to be there. I'm finally going to be at the place that I want to be. The not so good thing or not, I'm not going to say not so good thing is now though, I'm going to definitely have to get comfortable with being put, if I'm not taking it seriously, then Saturn's just going to be like, drop this thing in your life. All right, that's going to be the thing that sparked that fire under her and make her to start doing it. Now we're going to make her, because she hasn't been doing it, you know, or maybe she's been playing around with it, not being consistent, not taking it seriously, and now she's going to have to. So we're going to place obstacles in her life, which for with Saturn, that means I'm going to, if I'm not taking it seriously, then Saturn's going to put me in situations that make me uncomfortable financially to have to. For example, so like you guys had known, like I said, for the fair situation, that was like a really good like extra source of income that was very important. Like it was I was grateful for that. Which, you know, which makes me frustrated because I'm like, why did I have this resistance to go when I know, you know, everything about me going feels good except for how my body reacts to it for whatever reason. Which, by the way, I should have listened to that. You know, I should have listened to that, because it's like, it's so hard, because when something provides you what you want, once again, I'm able to help people and get paid. Like, why the heck would my body not be aligned with that? Why do I have to go through? So then I thought it was a me problem. But if something keeps coming up and your body is like resisting it, you need to listen to your freaking body. Like, girl, like clearly there's like something that you're not, just because something provides you financial support doesn't mean it's right for you. If your body is going against it, there's something there that you need to like sit with. So like I said, this wasn't always a thing, but it started to happen more and more recently. um so so much so that there has been times in the past couple of months that I like agreed to do the fairs. I would be late because something will happen in my life, that like caused that. And whether it was my mind or whatever, I was just delaying. I would be late, and then recently, this is not good, and I feel really bad about this, but I would be late, and then there would be like people who had signed up for me to have a session with me, and because I was late, they had to like give it to someone else, or like give them which I wasn't aware of, by the way. I mean, not 100% aware of. No, I wasn't, because I don't know. For me, I really don't be, and I don't know. Maybe this is a confidence thing too, but I don't be expecting people, because the fairs start at 11. It goes to 11 to 5. So I don't be expecting people to be like wanting to like be ready at 11 right when we start, or 11, sign up for me, like sign up for me first, like to be. I just don't be expecting that. So I think another part of my mind is like I could be, well, not that I can be late, because I don't try to be late, but it's just like me battling between my mind and my body, of like telling myself, my mind, like, girl, like, this is a good opportunity for you, body. Why are you doing this resistance thing? And so, but then the energy, like, I also have to get my energy in line, because I'm like helping people, and that, if I'm putting out a lot of energy, I have to feel nourished, and just there's so many things that goes into it. At least for me, everybody's different, but I'm like, I have to be recharged. My energy have to be right for me to give people the proper readings in the most authentic way that I feel proud of. So, and maybe that's something I have to learn, I don't know, but so yeah, in the past that has happened, and I got a talking to. Obviously that wasn't like, the owner wasn't happy about that, which I totally understand. But this time, so this go around, this past weekend, I agreed to work at the fair. But literally, like, I can't really talk about it exactly right now why it happened, but I ended up having to be late again. And, or not late again. I actually, instead of being late, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cancel. I'm just gonna tell them I can't come today, because I don't want to end up being late. And then it just, this thing happens. So I canceled it, which I thought, or I called and I said, I'm not gonna be able to make it today. Maybe I could make the next day, because it's a weekend thing. It's Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, I'm not gonna be able to make Saturday, but I'll try to make Sunday. And this is knowing that, like, for me, like, once again, I could use the extra money. Like, it's important. Like, these are not, I'm not just in an area of my life where I'm like, what? Like, it's like important. Like, responsibility wise, I should have, like, definitely, what feels like, as if I'm being a responsible adult, I should not be like comfortable settling. Like, I should be trying to make whatever extra money that I can make. But like, I literally, like I said, for me, I just couldn't, I wasn't replenished enough to do that. And that was because of the day before, and just things happening in my life, going to sleep late, not having enough food, not cooking for myself, just not nourishing myself. So I had to choose myself, and I even sat with it. I sat with it, meaning I sat in silence, and I, like, tried to get guidance from God. I even pulled some cards, and it all told me, like, I needed to take care of myself. I needed to choose myself, right? And so I'm like realizing, like, why did I start this video? I was supposed to like do a little quick like intro, just like a little bit of something, and then I was gonna go into my meditation, and then this always happens. All right, let me hurry up and get this story over with, because I'm starting to get hungry now. Because when I first wake up, I usually try to just drink some water, and then I'll get straight into my meditation. Then I'll eat my breakfast. But now I just talked all my energy out. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to eat now. But it's necessary for me to film this, because I don't know, I would have like overthought it or whatever. I just needed to go when it was in my heart to like say, turn on the camera. But yeah, so So yeah, I had to choose myself, and I even knew it. Like even if I think of astrologically speaking, um, I was like, remember what Saturn and Pisces taught you, girl. You can't fill anybody else's cup up first unless you fill yours. And because you haven't had, maybe the time to take yourself seriously because of whatever happened the previous day, you don't have food to eat. You need to cook, and you don't need to like try to force something or not, or go by a day without eating well just because you need to go to this fair, and you haven't had enough rest. So you need to take care of yourself. So I had to choose myself because I'm like, I'm trying to listen to the lessons that Saturn, and I know that every time I don't, I get in worse situations. So I did that thinking, and then I ended up so yeah, so later in the day I got a call. Long story short, without, going into super details, I'm no longer allowed to work at the fairs anymore. I'm no longer allowed to work at the fairs anymore because because this has happened multiple times, which I totally understand. I respect. And now I'm like, oh shoot. I was like low key like, when you have different sources of income coming in, and you're like, all right, this income is gonna be good because that's gonna handle that, and I'm gonna be able to like put that aside, and da 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 da. You already have your plan. So even though I wasn't, didn't go on the Saturday, I was like, oh, I'll still go on Sunday. I'll still be able to help, and I'll still get, my pay, whatever, for that. And so yeah, that didn't happen. And now, once again, my source of income, or part of it, is like, oh, now that's not even an option for me anymore. So do you see the Saturn? You see what Saturn doing right now? It's like, oh yeah. Um, mhm. So we're gonna take this thing that you already was energetically unaligned with. It was time, Jess. You weren't being honest with yourself, and for reasons I'm not gonna go into long reasons about it right now, but I just feel like it wasn't like the if I'm honest with myself, I feel like I could make more money myself and what I'm worth at this point in my life. And not to say that but for me personally, it wasn't aligned with my energy. I think because of I don't know. I just feel like I needed. You guys always hear me say I crave something deeper, depth. Like if I think of like what I would love to do, what I see myself as, when it comes to like giving astrology readings, is I really like the idea of doing consultations where it's like a consistent check-in. Like I'm doing something right now on my Patreon where one of my Patreon members, like every month, I'm giving her astrology readings, and I'm helping her. So we'll talk about, because the energy shifts. So it's now like I'm giving her like not these like therapy sessions, but kind of these therapy sessions where she's just giving her talking about what's happening in her life, and I have her astrology chart up, and I'm like, yep, this makes sense, or focus more on this, or this is what's happening, this is why you're experiencing these feelings and discomfort, and this is where it's gonna lead you to. Okay, this is how you navigate through it, so it can lead you here, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so it's really affirming and helpful. Once again, it will not take away the uncomfortable feelings. Like for me, like I said, like I am at a calm in a sense because I know what's like I understand what the plan is. Like I said, once again, that it's still not. I mean, there's still days where I may cry or I may be frustrated because it's uncomfortable, like it's supposed to be, right? But like I said, for me to be on camera and talking, like everything that I'm doing is for a reason. Like this is very strategic because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be like coming online and talking about it and expressing it so I can help you guys. And like there is a reason, like I'm not just like like even if I come on here and I'm a mess and I'm like uncertain and I'm like just whatever, that's the purpose. I want you guys, my journey, my job is to show you guys the journey of like real life, okay, and connecting it to astrology and stuff like that. That's what I felt, always felt aligned, and it shows that in my chart. And that me being consistent in doing that is going to create the reality or create the dream or create the life that I want for myself. Okay, so even though, like I said, it's hard sometimes, it's uncomfortable, especially when I'm not seeing the results right now, but I already know I'm not supposed to see the instant results right now. So these are so many things, like it's like you have a knowing, knowledge is power, but once again, sometimes it still doesn't help with the uncomfortable feelings. But what does help, it helps you to still trust yourself and keep showing up, because you know that, and that's why even, it helps you to understand stuff. So for me, I really want my readings to be like a relationship. um I've always wanted to be a therapist, and that's why I went to school for astrology. I mean, school for astrology. I started off. I did a fashion design major because thought I loved fashion, and then I realized I do love it, but it's not like a passion. Like I'm not super like, oh my gosh, like I've always wanted to something deeper. So I was like, okay, I always read psychological books. Like I always read self-help books and psychology books. I'm always looking at like psychology today, and I had to realize, okay, like this is what I like. I'm interested in people, understanding people, and wanting to help. So let me go into psychology. It did that, and then I ended up popping up, like starting my YouTube channel. That took a turn, and blah 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 blah. It's interesting how this always been this area, this up and down in my life of like, I'm so good at the creative thing. I'm so good at the aesthetic thing. I'm so good at that, but like, even though I'm good at it, it's not enough for me. I want something deeper, and it's more of like the helping, the psychology of people and all this stuff like that, and just like helping people. And then I realized that's how I learned about the spirituality. I started my spiritual journey. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm meant to do, to help people. Maybe it wasn't the psychology route, but it's more of the spiritual route, and maybe I can combine this. Who knows about what's going to be in my life, I'm not opposed to like me doing the spiritual route, and then maybe later in the life, I don't know, I decide I want to go to school. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. And because I do like the idea, there are some psychologists who merge psychology and spirituality, which I love the aspect of that. So I don't know where life takes me, but I know right now I'm meant to help people through like offering spiritual guidance and helping them through like spiritual tools such as astrology, to help them understand, to help them navigate throughout their life, any challenges, any frustrations, any uncertainty, the unknown, help them to trust their intuition by showing them that exactly what they're feeling internally is a reflection of their outer life, what they're supposed to do. They just don't have the confidence to trust it. They don't have the relationship with their body yet to be connected with their intuition enough to like hear it louder, or to understand it. They just know a feeling, and to help them create, like, put words to that feeling that they've been feeling internally, and to help them see like what they are meant to do in their life. What does their career look like? How they're making their money? What their relationships are supposed to look like? There's just so many things, And then with the therapy, once again, it's knowledge, which is important, right? But even if you have knowledge, it still doesn't take away like, the feeling of it. So the therapy sessions is to help give them the emotional aspect of the guidance and the check-ins. But also astrology, and what I do is help give. Personally, I'm about action. I'm a very action oriented person, so I want to offer guidance that people leave with, and they can take away. They can leave the reading, they can leave the consultations with like action plans on what to do. I'm a big planner. I'm a big action person. Makes sense. I'm an Aries moon, and I have a whole bunch of Capricorn in my chart. Capricorn was my 11th house. I have Capricorn, Mercury, Jupiter, all that. So I'm very good at like helping people take action on a plan to get long-term results at the end, which is for me, but it will definitely take like time and effort for you to do. I'm good at helping people create routines, and stuff like that, which honestly makes so much sense, because one thing in my astrology, on my YouTube journey, I'm just talking right now. Like, dang, this Gemini energy is just like da, da, da. Also, Mercury's in Gemini right now. So it's out of Taurus. Woo! Quick thinking now. We're about to be like all over the place with our thoughts, which kind of how I am right now. But yeah, so what was I saying? But yeah, it's interesting because if you saw me on my hair journey, one of the major things that like I like maybe was known for, which I don't know because I wasn't really looking at many other people in the natural hair community, but I know like what stood me out or what my biggest thing was like creating a routine for yourself is a life changer for anything that you want. But I even applied it to hair, and that's actually what helped me grow my hair and be consistent because I finally decided to create a routine for myself and stick to it. So it's literally like routine is like a big theme for me and helping you to create the structure in your life to achieve the things that you want. To have a plan set out for yourself and all this stuff like that. So it's the same with astrology. I'm helping you through astrology and intuitive guidance on how to develop a plan, a structure in your life that you can commit to, blah, blah. All these things, okay? So the full circle moment, are you seeing? Are you seeing this? So the point is Saturn has ripped out took away a very important and valuable resource for me where I earn my money, and now I have to learn, and now I have to, or I get to do the thing that I really wanted to do, which is fill that empty space now with something that I have felt called to do on my heart, and that is once again putting myself out there. Now I really do have to put myself out there myself because that was also that the fairs helped me to attract other people too. So now guess what I have to do? Now I really have to put myself out there and try to find a way that I could replace that income and expedite it. And so with me sitting for myself, with like, okay, what do I want to do? What is on my heart is doing the lives. Because another thing that I did, and this is like I'm losing steam here, but I'm trying to hurry up so you guys can see. See so you can understand this, so then you can maybe connect it to your life. But this is important for someone to hear. So you guys can see how the astrology plays out in somebody's life, so then you can apply it to your own life and see and understand. Last December, I created, thanks to Gary Vee, because he was pushing like everybody needs to be on Whatnot. You need to sell. It's a new selling platform where you just go on live and you do live social, like live shopping. So for me, I didn't have a product to sell, so I was like, okay, let me just go on live and talk about the astrology, and give like people like little like mini readings or like talk about their astrology. So I did it for a while, and I didn't really know what the heck I was doing, but I did it, and I ended up creating a little community on there. And eventually, they started tipping me. They were paying me, like they were giving me tips. What I didn't even know you could give tips. Like I didn't even know anything about that until I started. Somebody gave me that because of an insider guidance that I gave them that really helped them. And I was like, what the heck, you know? And I was just like, it's so interesting. It's so interesting because I'm just going to quickly say this without going into details. I visualized this happening. I didn't know how I was going to get paid, but I knew that through this, me putting myself out there, this was going to be the thing that helped me like get money, attract money easily, which is what I'm supposed to do. Okay. Right now, which I think most women are supposed to do, if that feels called to you. Is we are supposed to be, and I've been getting a lot of videos and guidance on that, and like learning how to use your feminine energy of like not forcing things and just attracting to attract, all that stuff like that. So I'm having to get into that because I'm always so used to like having to work hard and do this for money, and I'm like, girl, you have the gifts, you just gotta show up. You just gotta show the fuck up. And what I did in December was show up. And I was just giving guidance. And I ended up getting paid for that without even knowing that, I was just like, what the heck? You guys, I didn't know that. And so I feel I really liked it because it was so casual and I was so in my element and I was helping people and it was like even conversational. I remember there was even a Gemini on there that was like, he was like one of the first person that followed me, and it's just like, okay, all right, see, I'm realizing right now this is definitely what I'm meant to do. This is a full circle moment right here, and I know that that's gonna provide me. That's it. That's it. And I know that I'm gonna look back and be like, I'm so glad that this happened to me, because this was that felt aligned. The fear has felt like a great opportunity and what I needed, but not a. It wasn't the final. It was just like a stop I needed to take. It wasn't the destination. It wasn't what I meant to stay at. So, all right. I hope you guys understand the astrology for that. I am I need to eat at this point. I'm definitely hungry. But yeah, so that's my first Saturn in Aries, and now, like I said, I'm now also, because, like, am I still not nervous? There's a nerve feeling of like, I mean, it's not that I'm nervous. I just have to get in the flow of putting myself out there and being on live. And before, once again, that was like me doing it outside of Just Creations. I did it somewhere else, so these people didn't know me, so I could be my free most self and open, and that's how I was able to give like the most authentic guidance, because I wasn't overthinking. So now I have to make sure that I'm open on my Just Creations, so I can give the proper guidance. So yeah, starting today. Today is the new moon in Gemini. I'm losing steam here, guys. Starting today, the moon is, there's a new moon in Gemini in my fourth house. And going back to what I said, I know that although, yeah, I'm in this like reflection period, I do have a desire to talk to people. And the 11th house connection to my fourth house. Also, Jupiter is still in Gemini, which is in my fourth house. So I'm experiencing luck and abundance through these fourth house themes. Are you seeing the connections here, guys? Are you seeing the connections? So I know what I have to do. The only discomfort is like the shift of like of the not that I don't have the confidence, but it's like, all right, I have to start to really like shift myself. And there may be always a little bit of a nervousness to do something new, even though I've done it before. But this is like obviously something But it's like still just doing it. Don't overthink it. Just I said today I'm gonna go on my lives. I'm thinking about still going. I wanna maybe perhaps go on Whatnot. I wanna go be on YouTube Live, and I wanna be on Instagram Live. I think it was like between Instagram and Whatnot and TikTok. Although, like, I was thinking, so yeah, I'm gonna be going live on multiple places, and I'm gonna start it today. I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna do it today, and yeah. So that was a long rant. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing them every Tuesday. Not every, yeah. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say the dates yet because I'm still trying to get that figured out. But I know today's a new moon. And look, I'm talking about a new thing that I'm gonna be starting at home while I'm at home, where I'm giving readings to people, and this Jupiter energy is gonna help me to attract. Exactly the same thing that I was getting at the fairs. I'm going to create that for myself, and it's gonna be great because I'm gonna be able to do it from the comfort of my home. Wow. All right, so yeah, if you would like, this is, I guess it's gonna be the end because I definitely need to eat. I'm losing steam here. But yeah, you can join me on my lives where I'm gonna be giving, $11 readings. And if you want a full reading from me, you can go on my website, healthygirlhealing.com. Or if you want to be a part of the Healthy Girl Healing community, where I give weekly insights and we talk and we chat. We do also women's circles every couple months. We meet up. We have like girls' nights and all this stuff like that. You can follow my Patreon as well. Everything will be linked in the description box below. So yeah, that's that. Yeah. All right, this is fun. Okay. Ugh. All right, I'm gonna go resource myself now with some food.